3, 2, 1. Hi everybody, SPH here with CS for All Teachers, and this is the second of 3 short videos on how to get your students hyped about coding by exploring the most popular project types in audio and interaction. In the first video, we explored introductory soundboards and the basics of media sampling so students could create basic touch sound boards using media from the digital and physical worlds around them. Thanks for being here with us in the second video as we explore the intermediate level of audio and interaction projects and show off some great examples of how using more advanced code, as well as thinking about design, can create more expressive and impressive projects. So without further ado, let's get into using design and then move into coding audio loops instead of just a single play on click. We'll begin by exploring an 8th grade version of the soundboard project you previously saw. Now immediately you'll notice that there are custom designed buttons, mouse over effects, and on-click animations, as well as an animated title for this Adventure Time soundboard. When we click See Inside, you'll notice the code for even the advanced soundboards is still fairly simple, with only about 10 to 15 blocks per sprite needed to produce web standard interaction animations. As we look through the soundboard, one of the most obvious improvements is instead of just having transparent PNG or cropped photos, the soundboard buttons are now rounded, with bevels, highlights, and even drop shadows, significantly more buttony than before, to say the least. So while the Scratch Costumes editor is fine for most basic visuals, if you really want to level up your students' coding projects visually, one of the best ways to do that is to inject 3 or 4 basic graphic design projects into your course so your students will have the ability to edit and prepare visual assets as they need them. The good news is that there are plenty of fantastic free visual design apps such as Photopea or Pixlr. While not as powerful as professional Photoshop, are heads and shoulders above Scratch's built-in costume tab, allowing your students to have much greater control over the images they produce and code with. For making intermediate and advanced projects that engage your students, giving them the ability to produce higher quality visual images and apply them using basic principles of graphic design will go a long way, especially in these interactive and audio projects. In this BMO soundboard example, the students chose to make circle buttons, but the reality is you could make them any shape you want. As I click on the second sprite, you'll see that more advanced code has been added. So in addition to playing the audio, there is code for the brightness to increase on mouse hover and the size to reduce on mouse click. While the code is very simple, it can go a long way to creating the feeling of professional interactiveness, like you would have with CSS, for example. You'll also notice that instead of using the when sprite is clicked event, we're instead using the more advanced if touching mouse pointer and mouse down to allow for more precise touch control, such as leaving your finger down on the button. When doing this project for the first time, it's a great learning opportunity to have your students go and look at some of their favorite websites and spend a few moments looking for on-click or on-hover effects. Once your students begin to look around and analyze the digital world around them, they gain the ability to emulate some of their favorite design elements from their own work and experience. They often have a much greater sense of attachment and pride to their CS projects afterwards. The second set of intermediate projects that I want to highlight is how to create audio loops with your soundboard. To do this, we'll need a variable to create an on-off audio state. I'm going to use for this example Miss Wood's Annoying Potato project. You'll see that in this version of the soundboard, we are using the wait until and the wait until not controller instead of if then, which allows us to more precisely control the exact moment when the audio loop switches on and off. In this project, the audio switches use ghost to disappear when the audio is off, but you can just as easily set it to reduce the size like in the BMO soundboard example, or even change color or location. While the code is slightly more challenging, using individual variables for each sound that plays allows you to potentially create much more complex interactions, and that will be super important when we move to the advanced audio and interaction projects, such as a spoken choose your own adventure story, which I hope you check out. But until then, have a great day and keep on scratching. For more videos like this, be sure to follow CS for All Teachers on all the social medias.